My name is Emma Barnett, and I'm originally from Huntington, and I have been residing in Columbus, Ohio for the last 17 years.
What brought you back to the area today? Are you here specifically
Yes.
for this?
Yes, I'm here specifically for the party here at Dr. Johnson's house, and we've been talking back and forth, doing this whole campaign on the phone, sharing our joys and our ups and downs about the election every night about 11 p.m. Then early in the morning, I would get her up at 7 a.m. and we would just go on and on about it. And I said, okay, I got to leave the house now because I'm going to the gym.
So you wanted to be together
Yes,
on this
I
night?
did with my friends. I wanted to be with my best friends from grade school up through college.
Is this a group of ladies who went to
Yes.
school together? Well, what has this election and the likelihood of an Obama presidency meant to you, and what does it mean to you?
To me, it's, as they say, it's very historical, and I look at it from that point of view, and I think of all that I have read about history of Americans and Black Americans especially, that this is a very, very pivotal point in our nation of bringing and united our nation, and the whole world is watching us to see whether we can get beyond race and look at the issues and what they stand for instead of looking at the man or the race, And I think Barack exemplified all the things that would be good for America in uniting us and not dividing us as we go forward in the 21st century. It's very, very, very exciting in that we become one nation and indivisible.
If you had the opportunity to speak to Senator Obama, or perhaps give him one piece of advice, what would you say?
I would say, first of all, to Senator Obama, congratulations, whether he gets to be president or that he has gotten this far from whence he came, because this is a man who didn't have all the glitz and glamour that some of the people here in America has. So he knew, he had inspirations from a child. He was taught by his mother and his grandparents, and he might not have known his father, but his father was a hero also. He was a Black man that was a PhD student, and he didn't really get to know him that well, but his father had the same aspirations that he shared, and somehow spiritually, he moved this somewhere in the brief time that he was with his father. These things were anointed upon him, and also by his mom and his grandparents. And I just think he's a split there, and he knows what it means to mend and come together, And I just feel that he's the one. I felt it ever since the 2004 Democratic Convention, that this man that came out of nowhere, that people hadn't even heard of, Barack Hussein Obama, and that speech, somewhere something stirred in my soul, and it made me think of all the past history of the abolitionists, the Denmark Veseys, the John Browns, the Martin Luther King, the Mother Teresa's, Mahatma Gandhi. And did I say Martin Luther King? Once in a lifetime or once in every decade, God picks up someone and places them there. And this is what I feel on my spiritual side, that God has placed him in the midst of everyone. He has sown this seed that this man is here to mend all the ills of our country. And I believe that in my heart.
That's a pretty mighty challenge. Do you think it's too much of a burden to bear for any one man and for this man?
No, I think Barack has been trained from a child how to discipline himself and be focused on the problem. He's not a reactionary person. He's more of a visionary, and he can, even while I'm talking to him, Barack is listening, and everything I've said he has taken in, and he can come back, because he's such an intelligent man, and say not just what I want to hear, because he didn't say what you want to hear. He tells you about the way he see it in his plan now, but he will listen to other people that he's going to surround himself. He has already surrounded himself because he has planned for this. So he's already surrounding himself with the right people who will help him make this transition. And it's going to be a heavy burden, but he's up to the challenge, because anybody that can graduate head of their class from Harvard University, he's no slouch when it comes to being very analytical and solving problems. And he doesn't, he doesn't react. He thinks clearly. And one of the biggest thing, I think he's in his consciousness. It's not about ego. I think it's more about his consciousness and how well he can communicate with people. And when they said that he would sit down with terrorists to communicate, that's not a bad thing. We got to be able to communicate instead of doing wars, between countries and things. And if I think the biggest obstacle we have to overcome is being able to communicate with others. And I think that we're the all-powerful nation, because everybody has something to bring to the table. And sometimes you can mend the fences by just listening to others, and you don't have to go to war.
What do you think your parents or grandparents would think about this election?
I thought about that as I was coming down the road, and I thought about it many times, and I just wish in my heart that my parents had been living to see this, because to them it would have been almost unbelievable, but they would have been overjoyed as we are in this room. We're so overjoyed. You haven't seen us act up yet. We're going to do some acting.
All right.
But that bell rang, honey. We're going to do some crying, dancing, everything, holding hands, praying. It's just a joyous occasion. And it makes me happy, not just because he's a black man that has accomplished, but because a lot of white people see him as being an individual, not as black, not as white, but someone that can move our country forward, and that they feel secure about. And I'm just proud to be an American.